Hello, everybody. I am Ugly Kid, your host of Based Western Fallout. So, on one of my Discord, I asked my friends, "What video should I make next?" And they were like, "You should make a guide on how to play the classic games because I don't know how." You bitch. So, are you a Fallout fan? Are you a super fan? Are you a mega fan? Is your every waking moment filled with thoughts of the Fallout franchise? Probably, if you're watching this video. You've probably listened to clowns like Oxhorn and TKS Mantis tell you what happens in these games. Have you ever played these games? No! For some reason, over 95% of the Fallout fanbase have never touched these games. For most players, these games just sit in their library collecting dust. But why haven't you played them? If you're such a mega fan of the franchise, why wouldn't you even try to play them? The only acceptable answer would be, I don't have a computer. But even then, why don't you? You don't need a gaming PC. You could buy some shitty used laptop for less than $100 and it can run the classic games. I mean, don't just buy a computer to play two games. You should buy a computer because it's very useful in everyday life. Have you ever tried to file your tax returns? It's so much easier on a computer. Same with online shopping, researching, obviously gaming, video editing, digital art, and so much more. But if you do have a computer, you have literally no excuse.
Oh man, it's so old.
Dog, Fallout 76 is considered old now. That's not a reason to not play a game.
I can't play it because it has the turn-based combat and I'm too stupid to play it.
Okay, Pickles,
Oh,
that
I'm
actually makes
Homer from
sense.
Family
But then how
Guy.
can you play games like Baldur's Gate 3, or the Pokemon, or Undertale and such?
Because they're the more popular games.
You're a bandwagon hopper. Just play Fallout 1 and 2.
Oh man, but Ugly Kids, isn't it true you need to make the build just right or you cannot even defeat a rat?
Dude, if you can build a character in Fallout 3 or New Vegas, you can build a character in Fallout 1 and 2. Like, it's ridiculous. You are a chud. How can this be your favorite franchise of all time if you've never even attempted to touch the first two games? I played them the same day I got my first computer. I was 13 years old. If you're a grown ass man and you've had a PC for years, then you have literally no excuse. Chud. You're a chud. But I guess you might be a zoomer, or you have ADHD or something. Perhaps you find it too difficult to learn how to play a game as you play it. In that case, I shall inform you how to play these games. So first things first, when you set the resolution, you'd probably set it to your monitor's max. Don't do that. The game is going to look really small and zoomed out, and you won't be able to do anything. Keep in mind, this game isn't 4K, so you have no reason to increase the resolution. If you want to set your resolution really low, I always set it to 1152 by 864, but that's because my monitor. But pick whatever you'd like. Next comes character creation. This is where a lot of people's brains explode because of information overload, but it's really not that complicated. Again, if you can make a character in 3 or New Vegas, then you can make a classic character. Not that different, it's just all laid out for you at once. Although I will let you know you're going to need to invest into agility and luck. Lots of people have those stats really low, then complain the game is too hard. Without agility and luck, you barely do anything in combat. Now, personally, and I know this is cheap and cheating, but I don't care. I always leave both stats at 1 when making my character. And then when I get out of the cutscene, the intro cinematic, I save, I close the game, I install Fallout 1 and 2 save editor, and then I put both stats to 10. More fun for me, but you might not be that type of person. If you're playing Fallout 2 specifically, then you'll also probably want to invest into Charisma, as it determines how many followers you can have. Your party limit is Charisma divided by 2, so at 10 Charisma, you can have 5 followers. At 1 Charisma, you can have. I don't even know if you can have 1. I haven't tried it. I've never played with just 1 Charisma. Now, personally, and I know this is cheating, but again, I don't care. I always install FO2 tweaks and remove the party limit so I can have infinite followers at once. It makes navigating tight locations difficult. It's harder to, tell everybody to put their guns away. It's harder to keep everybody alive and manage their ammo. And so, you know what? I think it balances itself out in the management aspect. Anyways, if you're looking for a recommended trait, 100% take Gifted! Because it gives you a +1 to every special for barely any trade off. Now, if you have ADHD Zoomer brain, you'll want to pull up a phone, or in my case, an iPad, and put on some American Dad while you play. This immediately alleviates any boredom and prevents you from thinking too hard about your life. Now, something else, open settings and put combat speed to max. Click always running, and then everything else is up to you. So, now how do you actually play? Just use your mouse. Yep. You can play one-handed if you want to goon to Lucy McLean feat instead of watching American Dad. Right-click changes your action from move to interact. In combat, it also changes to a target. You can also get this target by clicking on your weapon whenever you want. You have 2 equipment slots that you can switch between by clicking this red button. To open your inventory, click the inventory button. You can drag things to your hand by click holding. Then if you want to use a skill, open your skill deck by pressing this red button. Pickpocketing is done by clicking steal and then clicking the person. Sneaking is done by clicking sneaking. Lockpicking is done by clicking lockpicking. It's all very self-explanatory. Except something to note, first aid and doctor. Doctor is for healing crippled limbs. It's really important, but that's its only use. First aid is just for normal healing, which, you know, you're probably going to have a shit ton of stim packs. You're not really going to need to use that skill too often. If you want to wait, click on your Pip-Boy and then click on the bell. And that should be everything you need to know. Everything else will just be discovered by actually playing the game. If you're playing Fallout 2, I don't know if it's in the base game or restoration patch, but if you hold left shift, it highlights everything. Other than that, that's everything. So the rest of this video will be telling you about the modding scene. If you want to play Fallout 1, you can just play it normally. But there's a mod called Fallout 2, which is the entirety of Fallout 1 in the engine of Fallout 2, plus some cut content. This version of the game adds a lot more of the time limits that you might not like, such as the Master's Army taking over every location in the game one by one if you're too slow. On my most recent playthrough, I didn't get to the Boneyard in time to do a single quest, and I took my sweet time and literally every location was overrun before I finished, so it's up to you if you want to play that version. It requires both Fallout 1 and 2 to be installed on your computer, and unfortunately Steam won't track your playtime, so you'll look like a total poser. Then for Fallout 2, I cannot recommend the restoration patch enough. It adds in tons of cut content and general fixes. There are also mods for this mod that adds in tons of talking heads. Beware of these mods. They're great, don't get me wrong, but Vic's face is that of a hot woman. Not a game-breaking mistake, it's just kinda weird. Now, if you're wondering which game you should play first, then I can help you out. Think, between Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, which should go first? Well, Fallout 1 is a much shorter game and acts as the foundation for the entire franchise. That being said, Fallout 2 is better in almost every way, so you should start with that one. If you watched up to this point and you still won't play the classic games, I fucking hate you.